successful as yesterday. So I would always do what I did yesterday. Just tell me how you are feeling today. How are you feeling today? Just in one word, how are you feeling today? Okay, great. Excited to see some visuals, excited. Thank you so much and happy to have everyone. Trying to fix something in here, then we just begin. Okay. Okay, that's okay. So today we are just going to, just as we did yesterday, we would just go through some simple theory, and then afterwards we'll move straight into our notebook, and then we start making some visuals. So today we'll be looking at the EDA, and then but we'll be moving into visualization part of the EDA, just trying to see our data in the form of graphs and then trying to understand it very well. And we'll just be looking at intro to data, then we'll look at styling and customizing plots using Matplotlib and Seaborn. If those words are new to you, those are basically the various visualization libraries that we have. There are other libraries, but we'll get to know them as we move on. And then also we'll just continue from where we stopped yesterday, and then we'll try to visualize our data, and that will be it for today. So what is data visualization? It's basically the representation, a graphical representation of the data or any information that we have in the form of charts, graphs, maps, data visualization tools, by using data visualization tools. So I mentioned Matplotlib or Seaborn, Plotly. There's something that we call Plotly, but there are other visualization tools like Power BI, Tableau, Google Studio. Those are all visualization tools that we use to graphically represent our data. But in the case of data science and Python, we'll be using Matplotlib and then Seaborn for this workshop. And then we have we'll, I mentioned Matplotlib and Seaborn. Yesterday I spoke about libraries, and Matplotlib and then Seaborn are also visualization libraries that are used in Python to analyze data. And they are just libraries, just like we spoke about pandas. They are the same library, so you just access them, you import them, and then you access them, and then use them to build visuals. That's the visuals that you want to build. And we have two of them. You get to know the differences. Matplotlib is like the, should I say, the base of like most visualization in pandas. Matplotlib is like the base, and the other ones that we have been built on Matplotlib, something like T-Bond, Plotly. They were all built on Matplotlib. And even though sometimes you are using T-Bond, you might have to apply a Matplotlib feature to be able to use it. So basically, they work hand in hand, and you can't deal with Seaborn without Matplotlib. So now we'll just move straight to our notebook. No time um to be explaining theory. Let's see the visuals. So I'm just going to do something here. Okay, so I spoke about Matplotlib, and this, just as we did yesterday, these are just libraries. So you need to make sure that you are importing all the libraries that you would need. And here we have, I spoke about the importation of pandas and why it's even as PD and all of it's the same thing that applies to Matplotlib as well. So we use this we also import it as PLT. It's not like it's compulsory for you to import it as PLT, but it's something that is widely used by everyone. So everybody tends to just use PLT. But if you do not want to do it as PLT, you are free to put anything that you want to. And then we have Seaborn. So import Seaborn, we mostly import it as NSS. SNS, yeah, that's the imports that we use, but you can also um feel free to name it whatever that you want to. And here, this is just about what we did yesterday, loading the data. So today, I loaded in the stroke prediction data. I can share it with you guys, but we'll not even be using it as much. If you want, you can just go in with the other ones, but did I use it? No. So we'll just use the house prices data that we used there. So I'm going to replace it with house prices. So if you open a new notebook, you can just replace it. You can just do this. So you load in the data that we used yesterday, which was house prices, and then you just use it to load the data. Thumbs up if we are all following up till here. Okay, thank you. So now we would, okay, now we'll just, this was just me trying to visualize it, preview my data to see it. And then this is what we had yesterday. And then we are moving straight into plotting our graphs. So here, I want us to, let's put this data frame aside for now. We'll come back to it, but we are going to put it aside for now. So forget the existence of this data set. Now we are going to create a line plot, and I'm creating two lists. We all know lists, right? We know list, right? Okay, great. So list, so we would be, guys, just hold on. I want to try to mirror the window so that I'll be able to see what we are all, when I ask a question and you're reacting, I'm able to see it easily. So kindly bear with me shortly. Okay. Mhm. Okay, thank you. I'm back now. Just wanted to see so that when you're reacting, I don't have to be going back and forth. So would be there are so many, as we all know, like there are so many charts, there are so many graphs available that you'll be able to visualize your data with. Mostly we are just trying to see how things are in a visual format. So with yesterday, we're previewing it, we're trying to manipulate the data in normal context. You're just trying to, it's going to come in the same data frame format, but in this sense we want it to come in the form of graphics and all of that, so that we'll be able to visually see it. And then, with the codes, when you give it to someone, the person wouldn't understand. But if I give somebody a line chart, a bar chart, it's easier for the person to understand. So in that case, in case you're a data analyst, or they ask you to analyze some data, but they ask you to analyze some data, you can be able to present it to the person in the form of charts, and then the person will easily understand. Please confirm if you can see my screen, the codes. Thumbs up. Is it blank? It's blank. Oh goodness. Mm. Let me share again. You should see it now. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so just as I was explaining, you're just trying to present what you have in the form of graphics. It's going to help you yourself easily make um predict decisions, and also it's also going to help somebody that doesn't understand code to effectively understand or be able to understand whatever that you are doing with your Python codes. Um I just want us to look at this. So I hope, please confirm if you can see me. If you can see it well, if it's clear enough. Okay. So yeah, you can see that we have a lot of, I'll share this as well in the chat. This is just a cheat sheet to help us effectively understand the graph. We have a line chart here, which helps us find certain things like a trend of things, maybe what is the temperature over time. You are able to visually see it. How is the trend, like is it declining, is it rising up? You are able to like just see it. So assuming maybe sales over time, and then you visualize, you plot that line, then they see that, oh, the line is moving up. They would know that, oh, it means that sales has been going well. If it's fluctuating, then it means that sales have not been stable, and maybe there are seasons in which it goes at its peak and a season in which it goes down. So in that sense, if it's a business, they know when to probably stock more and when to really increase their marketing to get a lot of people to come in. So these are what like charts do. We have a lot of charts, area charts, spine charts. There are some I've never used yet, something like area stacked. I don't remember using any, but yeah, we also have the pie chart, donut, heat maps, stacked columns. There are literally so many. So depending on what you are doing or what you want to find out, then you decide on the type of chart that you want to use to make that visualization. So that's why I was saying that today is going to be so short, because we won't be able to cover all graphs or charts that exist, but we'll try as much as possible to get ourselves acquainted with the syntax, such that if we want to build any form of chart, it will be easy. So now we are going to use this list data. So we have X here, then we have Y here. We are trying to plot. This is looking too much. I'm just going to comment this out. So now, assuming we are going to plot a line graph for this data set, we already imported matplotlib as PLT. Now, you see, yesterday, whatever that we are using, we're using PD. So in this case, if you want to plot, the first thing to do is to access your library, which is matplotlib, and we imported it as PLT. So we'll simply do PLT. Then we do dot plot, right? And then now we will define this and this. So we have plt.plot. Then we now define what do we want it to plot? Do you get what are the things that we want it to, which data? Like you've said, okay, plot something for me. What should I plot for you? Then you put in what you want it to plot. In this case, we have a data of X and Y. Then we put in X, comma, Y. So it's like when you're trying to do, mathematics, then you have your x-axis, y-axis, and maybe your vec is 2, 3, 2, 3, then you're trying to plot it. So it's the same way that you are putting it in there to plot it for you. So now you just do this. And then as you can see, it has provided the plots for us. But then you can see that with this, if I give this to someone, the person won't understand because there are no axis labels, there's nothing, there's no information in it. Like nobody is going to understand. Like, what at all are you plotting? What are you telling me? Do you get? So matplotlib also give us the opportunity to customize our plot. So you'll be able to add in your titles, you'll be able to define, maybe you want your plot to be very big, you'll be able to put in the fixed size, you put in the figure size, you customize it to what you want. You're able to also add a title, you're able to add the labels for maybe the x-axis and the y-axis, you put in the labels. You also have the legend so that somebody will be able to understand what you are doing. Now, so we are just going to add in these labels. So now we can just come here and comment this out. Oh, sorry. It's like I'm giving you guys spoilers. My screen is giving me spoilers on what we might do today. So we have this. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So now you can see that this represents the figure size. So PLT. Oh God, why is my laptop falling today? Okay. So you see, this represents the figure size. So you're just trying to define, oh, make it, I want my plot to be big. I want it to, like, depending on how big you want it to be. So let's just do something here. We already did our plot, plt.plot, xy, right? Now I want to define, so before we plot, we will define our figure size. So plt.figure. One thing that is nice about Python is that it presents everything to you in a language that you understand. So, you know, plt.figure, then there's fixed size. It shows that you are trying to adjust the size of the chart. Not all programming languages are the simple. Yeah. So let's say I put, I'm going to do 10, 12. Yeah, you see, so you can just adjust it to any size that you want. I can do 4 to, no, 4 to, then you see that it becomes very small. And then also we can add a title, and that is also plt.title. Then you put in your string, then you add your title. So let's say first plot. I have, yeah, first plot. Then let's see whether we'll see the title in there. Then you see that now we have our title in there. We can also decide to add the labels because now we have the title, but nobody will be able to understand what, like, the labels that is in there. So now plc.x label. Then let's say temperature. Oh, we should just make it, okay, let's do.
Hello everyone. So I
Hello.
think she's having network problems. She'll join very soon.
I am so sorry, guys. My laptop just switched unexpectedly. I'm so sorry about that. So let me just it's looking like my laptop doesn't want us to hold the session today. Just whilst I was talking, it went off again. I am so sorry about that. I'm trying to get it back up, so just wait on just in case it goes off, I will just switch. Should be able to see my screen now. Okay. So we're just talking about the titles, adding in features to make your graph or your chart understandable. So here we have the the title. Now we'll try to put in labels as well. So X label. So let's say I want to put like something like temperature. Then I can do plt.y label as well. Then I put, let's say, time or something. I don't know what I'm labeling, but yeah. So now let's check. So this is just helping you to see things and all. Also, we have something called the label. So labels basically helps you define the name of the line. So let's say you're trying to find out the trend of something, right? So you are trying to make a trend line. It can be like whatever thing that you're trying to plot, whatever line that you're trying to draw, you can give a name to that line. And then for you to do that, you would put something in here. You would add an argument here where we have let's say trend over time, trend over let's say time, trend over time. And then when you come in here afterwards, you will now come in to do something called the legend. I didn't put in, sorry, this prompter is disturbing me. Okay, so now we have legend. And then you see that it comes in and then it labels it, and then it labels it as trend over time. Mostly it's just to add more emphasis on your graph, such that if somebody takes the graph, it's understandable to the person. The person wouldn't have to ask you so many questions before the person can understand, but easily they are able to understand the chart. Yeah, and then we also have something like plt.show, but it's not mostly applicable here on what do we call it, on Colab, because Colab will just print it out for you. But there are other environments, maybe an ID like VS Code. VS Code is also an environment, or a place like Jupyter Notebook. The charts might not show if you don't render pld.show. So depending on the environment, just make sure that you are always putting it, so that whether you put it or not, you are not at a disadvantage to start searching why your graph isn't showing. So you do plt.show to show your graph. Then I also had so it's just literally the same thing. You can decide to plot, like let's say I'm just going to create a new cell. So let's say I'm trying to do a scatter plot. I will just do plt.scatter. Then I put in my coordinates x, y. Then you see. So basically, this is literally how the matplotlib thing is. It's not anything like too extra. You just always specify the plot that you want to build, and then it shows it to you. Please let's thumbs up if it's okay so far, so we just move to something different. Okay, great, thank you. Then here we have the um trying to plot multiple lines. So let's say you want to show the trend of two things, maybe sales and some other thing. You want to show the trend of two things in the same graph. So you don't want to create two separate lines, but you want to do everything in the same. You can do it this way. So now with that, you will not do plt. So you see, when we're plotting for a line plot, you do plt.plot. So now we want to visualize multiple lines. You just do it this way. You coin everything in the figure, and then you define each of the lines. You plot each of the lines. So you see that this is just for the shape. This is just for adjusting the size of the plot. And then we have plt dot plot x xy. So this, you see that this is the data set. I said let's forget about the data frame. We'll come back and then access it. But for now, let's just get our hands on how to get our way around the matplotlib syntax. So here we just have the data in here, and then we come in here to render the plot. So now we are trying to, it's the same, we're trying to plot in the same graph. Now we have the same x-axis. Let's say we have sales, and then maybe it's in different months. We want to check the sales for different months, maybe years in years. You're trying to do it, like check the sales in different years. So the x-axis will be years, but the sales values are going to be the same. Like in that case where you have that connection and you have to plot multiple lines in your graph, you just have to render it this way. So you see that the x is the same, but they have different y values. So you just specify it, but you can see that the syntax is the same thing as we did for plotting just a single line graph or line chart. So now we would come in here, and then you see that this is what I was saying. This is the legend. So now you see that for you to be able to get legends for each line. So now this line, you see that this line style, and then you can also see that we have a new parameter in here called the line style. So the line style is basically how you want your line to look. When we didn't specify this line style, we had something like we had a very straight line in here, but depending on how you want your line to look, you can adjust it with this line style. I think there's also a full stop. Let's try it. Here, it's not a valid. So now we can see they've given us the supported value. So we have dash, we have dash dash, we have dash dot, we have this column. So let's try to use solid and see what we'll get. I think solid should be the same. Let's see how it's looking now. And then I saw this as well. Then you see how it goes. So basically for this line style linting, it's just how you want your chart to appear, and then you adjust the parameters to fit in to what you want it to do. And yep, so you see here we defined the legend, the labels as well. We define the line. What is the name that we want to give to the line? Maybe initially, because it was just one line plot, you might see that, oh, what's the essence of putting in a label if it's just one? But now it's two. So for people to really differentiate and know what each line is doing, it's always good to put in the labels. And it's the same way as we did for a single plot. And then here you just come in and then pass it. You can also see. Okay, Joseph, go ahead.
Okay, so I was thinking
Mm-hmm.
maybe we could use one graph for all the labels or in all the styles, so that it will be kind of easy for me, because I'm kind of finding difficult in following, because you move up and down and like
The
trying to
graph.
scroll, trying to, yeah. So I was
Oh,
thinking if you can use one graph to
This.
demonstrate everything, yeah, for us to follow it and follow it well.
Okay.
Yeah.
I let me reiterate on what you said, then maybe let's see if I will follow. So is it about the codes or the graph, the comparison of the graphs?
No, so for me, I think it's you moving up and down, you going here to go and change something, there coming down to go and change. But if we focus on one
Okay.
graph, then we can do everything in it. Or if that's not possible, I have no idea though. But if that's possible, I think we can just select this graph that is on. Then we can demonstrate all the style in it, so that we know that, so that we
Oh,
follow. Yeah. If I
okay.
don't know if you
Yeah, I
get
got
it.
you now. Yeah. So the reason why I moved in here is because we had to introduce a new coordinate, because here we are not plotting just one. So we needed this data. We needed two of these y values. But in the initial one, we had just one. But I'll try as much as possible not to move too much to cause that confusion. Yeah. Okay. So here we have the line style in there. So this line style was just introduced to cause this thing to make changes to this, and then we initially had this. We can also do dash dash two dash. This is just to add in the line styles. We can also, let's try to add in a line style in the second plot. Then we have line style. So here I'm trying to change the line style of the second plot. Uh, then you can see how the changes look like. Basically, that is it, because this is still the title, this is the X label, this is the Y label, and then we have this thing called the legend. So you can see that in the initial one that we did not specify the we did not specify where we want the legend to be at and all, but in this case you can actually specify where you want your legend to be made, and you want it to be up, you want it to be down, wherever that you want to be, you can specify that. So let's do down left. Okay, so let's check the errors. So there's nothing like down left. Let's see how to, probably it's button or something. Okay, lower rather. So it's not down, it's lower. These things you just have to check out how to define them, because there are so many. So you just do lower left. And you see that it comes in here. I can change it to lower right so that it doesn't coincide with the lines. Yeah. Can somebody just tell me what's the difference you are seeing between this graph and then this one? Let's say this one, just this, and then this one particular one. What's the difference? What difference are you seeing in here?
Okay, I think one is being divided into cubes, but the other one is just a raw, just a flat uh, graph.
Yeah,
I don't know.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly it. Yeah. Can you guys confirm if the screen is stuck or you can see me moving?
You can see you moving.
Okay, Bridget, probably it's your network. Okay. So it's because we added grid here, right? So you can decide to add this grid thing so that your chart will look like as it is in a graph book. But if you define it on what you want it to be, whether you want the grid to be there. So it's either you specify it or you can still specify it and put false. So when I put false, my grade is not going to show. So you can see it. So matplotlib gives you a lot of things to deal with your like data, whatever that you want to do to your chart. It gives you that luxury to play around your charts and add a lot of things to it, just so people will be able to understand, and even you yourself, you're able to easily interpret your graph and then understand it well. We'll just move on. And then this was just to further show us the different things that we have. The different things that we have, which is the line width, the marker, and then the line trend is literally the same thing. I think this is the issue that Joseph had with the just the same thing being repeating. I'll try to see. So this is like a complete code covering everything about the most of the common things that you need to do, which regards styling your or customizing your chart. So here you can see that we have color. So you can actually decide to change the color of your chart. So you just have to add this argument color to all that we've been doing earlier. You add your argument color to it and then it changes the color. We still have the line style. Then we also have the line width. So you can decide to also add line width to it to just increase how big it is. So sorry, I'm just going to go back as I'm removing this, but I can just reverse. So we are going to do line width. Then we do 2. Then we specify the marker. Then let's see if there's going to be a difference in our plots. Yep. So you can see what happened in here. I'm going to comment the second plot out so that we'll be able to see clearly the difference. Now you can see that I added this line width and then the marker. Line width is just basically taking in the lines and making sure that they are a bit wider. So width is just trying to increase the size of it. And also we have the marker. So the marker represents the points in which we have. You see, when you are drawing charts on a graph book, you would join in the points to draw the line. So when you introduce marker ensures that you will have it shows you the values that you have or the points that you have in your chart. Now let's try. There's also different, just as with line style, you can use, there are so many types of markers that you can also use. Let me see if I still remember my markers. So let's try this. Okay, great. So you see that it represents it in this format. So like matplotlib is basically like plotting class is basically just playing around with your things, especially if you like design and you want things to look beautiful, you just play around the colors, the line width and everything. Okay, go ahead, Joseph.
Okay, please, can you show the graph so that I show you something?
Okay.
Okay, so let's say I want to mark only 6 on the y-axis and 3 on the x-axis. I want to mark just that one. And if
6
I
to
mark,
3.
6 to 3. So if I mark that one, I want to draw a line from the 6 to the 3, joining the mark.
This way, like a line
Yeah,
this way.
yeah.
I'm not pretty sure. I've not, I don't think that can be done because I haven't even tried, but I don't think that can be done because you are
Okay,
basically just passing in. You want it to build with this data. Do you get? So
okay,
whatever that you are passing it in is on this data. So it means that if you want to plot it that way, you are probably going to plot only a single value.
okay.
It's
But
manual.
what about me just marking only just the 3, the 6 to the 3, marking only just one
The
thing?
point.
Maybe, yeah, just the point. Maybe I just want to, I want people to emphasize on just on that point, but I have drawn the line. The line is there, but I just want people to emphasize on just one point.
So that's why I was saying that with this thing, you see that when you are building the whole thing, you are passing in this data. So you are passing in the coordinates in there, and the coordinates represent the whole of this data. So if you are
Yeah.
going to use this PLT dot plot, it's going to plot the whole thing. That's why I was saying that in that sense, you are going to be plotting just one single value.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you get me.
Not really, but I want to plot all
Okay.
these things on the graph, but
Mm-hmm.
I want to emphasize on just one mark. Like let's say I want to emphasize on the medium of the graph that I've done,
Mm-hmm.
like the middle value. So let's
Yeah.
say the 3 to the 6 to the 3. I just want to emphasize on just that one. So I want to mark just that
This
point.
part. Yeah.
Yeah, and leave the rest.
I'm not
I don't know
really.
whether you get it.
I do get you, but Seth has his hand raised. Maybe you can come in.
Okay.
Seth, you can speak.
Yeah, it's thank you for the opportunity. It's just to add on to Joseph's question. Maybe you are presenting to an audience and you want to focus on a particular value on the line. So, for instance, like he said, maybe it could be you want to emphasize on 0.6 and then 3, or maybe focus specifically on that mark. Is there a way to lay more emphasis on that particular point on the graph?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I really get your point, but what I was trying to say is that I haven't tried it and I'm not even sure if it's going to be possible, but we can all like search to see if it's possible, but I've not tried it. And what I was saying is that now it's like a manual insertion, like you are manually inserting what you have into this plot, right? So it's been given to Matplotlib as this. So like let me just search it and then we'll confirm. We'll be able to conclude at this. Let's search it out. Okay, I'm coming in. I think that's like it's not something that I've looked in, but I don't really think it's going to be possible. Okay, Seth, go ahead.
Okay, so then that's fine. Maybe we can research around it. But I have a question.
Okay.
I missed a couple of minutes when you started the presentation, but I don't think that's it will really affect the question.
Okay.
The when we imported matplotlib.pyplot as PLT. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, the others were imported, the whole library was imported. Why is it that for matplotlib you have to specify pyplot?
Yeah, so I think that's like it's like how you access it. So there's the library matplotlib, and then inside of it we have the ones that we need um to get the graphs. So it's like it's part of that matplotlib package, and for you to be able to access it, it has to be in that format.
Okay, so we just imported what we need for plotting.
Exactly, and this is like literally what you need when you are doing charts.
Okay, does that
Yeah.
mean that there are other, stuff in there that we can do without, necessarily plotting?
Let's check the documentation. So we have so this is the matplotlib documentation where you can see everything in there. There are actually things like I even realized that I've not used, like animations and all of that that you can find in there. So you see we have the pyplot tutorial, we have with .pyplot, then we also have image as PL. So it's literally I don't know how to get my tutorial to explain this out, but it's literally how it's being accessed. I don't know how to explain that though, but that's
It's
basically
fine.
how it's being accessed when you're trying to visualize things.
Okay, I get
Yeah.
it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
So easy. Yeah. Okay. Let me just go back to the. Yep. But the other question, we would have to look at it and then finalize on it, because I think it's something that is like very, very important. We would look at it like towards the end. We would try to see if it's possible to plot, like to just put a marker on this. So maybe it can even be just the color. So you try to just maybe change it to color red or something. It's something that is possible. I'm not sure if it's going to be possible, but we can see it's maybe indexing, trying to index some things and put it might work, but let's see. Yeah, so we're just talking about the legends. You can put it wherever that you want it to be, and then the grid. Then we also have the text, so you can also decide to put in to specify the font size of the text, like how do you want it to be like and all. These are just like simple things. It's just trying to find the logic behind it, but there's nothing really new about it. Then you can also decide to save your graph. So for you don't have to maybe take a screenshot after you build your graph. You can just use plt.save. Then you put in the name of the graph in here. Let's say line. Then if you run it, it's going to come in here. So it's going to put it here. Then you can just download it from here. So basically that is it with Matplotlib. And then the customizations, there might be other customizations, but you can just look out for other things that you might want to add to your graph to make it more responsive and more understanding. Like the question you guys asked, I think it's something that is important. You want to tweak, you want it to be more easier, you want to highlight certain things on your graph, you can be able to do it. So now, I don't know, anyone that wants to guide us through like plotting a bar graph? How do you think we can plot a bar graph in Matplotlib? Anybody that wants to try? So we had plt.scatter, we had plt.plot. How do you think a bar graph would look like? Nobody? Okay, so basically for you to plot a bar graph, it's just plt.bar, and then you put in your coordinates the same way as we did earlier. Then you can you can add in the customizations to it to make it more understanding. There's also histogram, is plt.hist. Then you put in your coordinates as well. Oh, I have to specify. So for you to build a histogram, you have to specify the number of beans. Sorry. Yeah. Hi, Bridget. It's difficult to hear you.
I can use my hand right now.
Sorry. Come again. Hi, Bridget. We can't hear you. Okay, probably you can put it in the chat or just raise your hand again if you are ready to talk. So this is also for a histogram. So you can just specify the number of beans that you want it to show in here. Let's say 3 beans, then let's okay. The bean got multiple values for argument. Now I'm confused. So let's see what is wrong. So I've declared my coordinates. I'm trying to add the beans to it. Okay. I get so many things to do with plot. So let's just check it out. How to plot this. Okay. I think Bridget is having issues with the internet today. Plotting charts with. Let's see if I got the syntax right or wrong. I mean, so why is it not working? Oh God. Sorry, who can tell me why? Like maybe if you also figured it out as I just did. Who can tell me why this didn't work initially? If we are following. Like, why do you think that this did not work? This gave us an error initially. Anybody that wants to try Joseph Esther set, if you want to try on why this is not working.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think because you were passing both the X and Y as the data.
Okay. And why is it that it doesn't work for that? It doesn't work in that way.
Okay, so for the his, it picks just one parameter.
Yes, exactly. So you see, when you're drawing a histogram, you take just like one. You're trying to see maybe you have middle class, upper class, lower class. So you're trying to plot. Yesterday we did value count. So you're trying to plot the number of people in each place. So in that case, you're not comparing it to another thing, but you're just plotting what you have. So you're just plotting one column. So is it why this is necessary for you to really understand the type of graphs that you are using and which chart that you'll be able to use in the context of what you want to visualize? Because if you are not careful, you end up just like visualizing things that are not probably needed at all. So it's good that you get to choose the right charts to make the visualizations, and then yeah. So we'll just be looking at how to create subplots in Matplotlib. So let's say you want to create in one code, you want to create a bar chart, you want to create a line plot, you want to create a scatter plot, you want to visualize everything to be able to effectively interpret your data at just one time. You don't want to do it like in different cells. You want to just do it smaller charts in the same cell or in the same place. So let's look at this code. So here we have our X and Y, which is the data set that we are using in this context. Then this is the syntax for declaring that you want to build a subplot. Now you do plt.subplot, but then this thing represents how you want it to show. Like how do they call it? Like, so you see when you're trying to maybe 2 by 2, 2 by 1, like how do you want your subplot to be structured? So in this case, you would have to define it this way. So in this case, I was trying to do a 2 by 2 grid. I was trying to build the subplot in a grid format. So basically, I'll just put it in this way. Then this is just the figure size that they are trying to define how the fake size should look, or you want to define how big the chart should look like. Then here, this first thing, so you can see that here fake, and then this one, it defines, it's like a variable that you're defining. So you're defining fake, and you're also defining axx, axs, which represents the subplot, each subplot that you are building. And here you are trying to define, so you are saying that you are building a 2 by 2 subplot. And in this case, you are trying to plot in the subplot. So you are trying to define where each subplot should be in. So let's say in my grid, I have a 2x2 grid. So in the first place, 0, 0, this is where the first plot should be in, and this is where the second plot should be in. So you see here, we have A00 dot plot, then you have your XY, which is like the representing the first plot. And then this 0, 0 represents the position in which you want the chart to be in. And then the second one, so it's literally just the same thing. Now you are defining 0, 1, 0, 1. So it's just like this indexing thing that we're doing yesterday. So I'm going to run it. So now you can see, when we are doing it, so 0, 1, when you are doing indexing, this represents 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, sort of. So here in the first row, it represents 0. So this represents 0. And then here 1. Right, then we also have 0 here, then we have 1 here. I don't know if you guys are seeing what I'm trying to paint now. Yes, so this column represents 0, and here is 1. Then when we come down here, it's 0, then here it's also 1. So if you're able to do your grid that way, it's just going to be easier for you to plot them out here. So here you just find in your positions and then you put it. Afterwards, it follows the same thing that we used earlier on, to the same customization techniques earlier on to define your graph. So basically, this is how subplots are being made. Just make sure that you define this and then you define the positions as well. Thumbs up if we are together. Okay, now we are going to use our data frame to make the visualization. At first, we're just using list. Now we are going to apply what we did yesterday to build the visuals. So let's say we have we already loaded our data as DF. Now we are trying to build a line plot for our data. So I loaded in the house prediction data. Let me just preview it again so we don't have to be going back and forth. So let's say df.head. Now we have our data in here. Now we want to visualize this data. I don't know if somebody wants to give an attempt before we do it. Joseph, do you want to give an attempt? Alex, anybody that wants to give an attempt on how we can plot? How are we going to pass it? So I'm going to start it for you guys. Oh goodness, this is my prompt. Maybe to give you a hint, but how do you think that if I want to plot, how do you think it's going to be like? Let's say I want to plot price and then bedrooms. Okay. Silence means I should do it on my own. So here, we did accessing data yesterday. We tried to slice data. We tried to get into the data by using this indexing thing to access the data. Then we also looked at how we'll be able to access columns in the data. So in this case, can someone just remind me how I'll be able to access this price column? I want to access this price. Okay, Bridget, go ahead.
Okay, so we can try DF and then open bracket, and then we put this one over there, the column name. So we type price inside the double commas. Yeah,
exactly. So basically that is it. So you do the same for the next thing. So you see, initially we had X and Y. Now for you to be able to access it in the form of the data frame, you have to access it as Bridget said. And then so this is like the price will represent like X, and then let's do bedrooms, which will be our Y. I am going to change this and make price, because it doesn't make sense to have bedroom as X and then Y as this. So now, what color should we give? How do I declare? Oh my goodness. Let me see if I can deactivate this. Okay. It's not making me ask my questions well. I hope it's this. Okay. Wait. Okay. Now, who wants to help me with adding color? Let's add color to our Joseph. Can you help us with that? We
So
want to add color to it.
you just declare the color library, then you assign it to the color that you want.
Okay. Let's say yellow. Huh, so weird. Anyways. Should we add any other? What other customization do you think we should add?
Please, we can add the line style. That
Okay.
if we want to, yeah.
Okay, just add it. Line
And we
style.
can also add the grade to make
Okay.
it, yeah, so that it won't be flat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So now we will do plt.grade, then true. Then we'll do plt.show, although it's not needed in Colab, but let's just add it for safety. So now let's see. This graph looks so bad. Imagine if you are explaining this. You see, it's going to be so difficult for you to, like, what does this mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you understand? So in this case, what do you think we can do to be able to get the trend of the data? It's still based on something we did yesterday. So we want to adjust it in such a way that we'll be able to understand it.
Please, I think that we can try to do some grouping. At least maybe we group it by prices that are maybe greater than 15,000. And then we can try to visualize it from there, or maybe bedrooms that are 2 or 3, and then we can move on from there. I don't even know what I'm saying.
No, you're saying something actually, but there's another way, a very simple way that you guys are looking at the complex one. There's another simple way, like it's so simple. Let's not think too much. Just think about loading data, the kind of. Okay, I'll give us a hint. So we can use dot head to reduce the number that we have in here to see the trend.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And we
So
can use
how
the
do
tail to
exactly?
yeah. So df dot.
Okay, I'm waiting for Joseph. You are taking
So
the
df dot the head. Then we assign. We make it 5 or let's say 10.
Think deeper.
Mm.
It's just here. So you are supposed to add it here. So you just add it here. And then you put, let's say, I can decide to put 50. Then I come here and put dot head. Then I put 50.
So let's do 10 or let's do 5.
Okay. I mean, don't worry. This data set is not like, it means that, what do we call it? Line graph. It's not the best way to interpret this thing, because this doesn't even make sense. It's just going anyhow anyway. So you can see how you would be able to apply those EDA things we did yesterday to find meaning out of your to reduce things. So assuming you have like thousands of data, you will not be able to do everything. Sometimes it's not going to show really well, but you can just decide to take a slice of it and then you use it to make the what do we call it, to make the visualization. Also, Bridget was talking about the group by thing that we can use. Bridget, do you want to take us through that group by? Feel free, don't it just try. We are all recapping from what we did yesterday.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so we can decide to group by prices that are, let's say, greater than 15,000, like I said earlier. So maybe let's create a new column called maybe higher prices.
Do you want us to create a new
We can
column,
say,
or we should rather like create a variable, name it with something?
okay, that would be fine too.
Okay.
So a new variable. So let's say higher prices. Okay. Will be equal to
Okay.
our data frame. So DF, and then we open a square bracket.
Brackets. Yeah.
Yes, and then we are trying to access the prices column. So we do DF again, and then open brackets. Then we put prices into quotation marks. Yes, and then greater than 15,000. Yeah. So I think this.
Should we do for the bedroom as well?
Okay, we can do that.
Okay. Let's just do it at bedrooms. Let's say bed, great, bed 5. Don't worry. Well, let's just do it beds.
Yeah. So yes, the same thing, and then we can change the value. Maybe 2 bedrooms.
Then we do greater, right?
Yeah, greater than or equal to 2. Oh no, let's do less than or equal to 2 rather.
Are you sure? You want us to do value counts? Okay, I'm following your lead. Let's do so less than 2.
Or equal to, okay. Less than 2.
Okay.
Yes.
So now we have saved it. We would move forward to say it worked. So we'll move forward to the plotting, right?
Yes, please.
Okay. Be confident. It's going to work. Don't worry. Be confident. So we have so now we are going to plot plt dot plot. Then we pass in the things that we named in here. So I'm just going to copy so I don't have. Fingers crossed. It's always good to try things out. So let's just run it first, then we see. So I just suspected I would get these dimension issues, but let's see something. I'm going to try to see if it's going to work. So let's try to do like 5. So This thing is basically not working because I think
They're
why
having different shapes. I see
exactly because
them.
yeah. So now you are trying to you have secluded this one, which is like 15,000. Now this one to the number might not tally, but you're
Yeah,
trying
yeah,
to
makes sense.
correlate things exactly. So you're trying to correlate things from here to here, like you're trying to plot the correlating two bed to this one, the correlating this to this. But in this case, you don't have that in this
Mm.
context because this is going to be something totally different and this is going to be something totally different. Let's even try to check the shapes. So this is where you would have to now bring in your data manipulation to check in how the things are. So you see we have 1, 2, 8. Let's check in the shapes of the bed as well. Shape. Then we have in 0, 8. So it's not to work in that context. You get,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think basically that sorts it out. The only maybe there might be other methods, but the known method that I mostly like apply is just trying to use with these things. Maybe I can also use tail to works, right? So, but you can also try to look at other ways that um that it can work. It's going to work. So I think one thing about this data science and analysis thing is that you just have to open your mind to exploring a lot of things and getting to get yourself acquainted with so many things. Because as you learn, you get to discover whether things are possible or things are not possible. Like every day is a learning process. So you think that you've mastered everything, then you would try analyzing something, you get into an error, then that experience will help you learn something, and then it keeps going on and on. So we'll just be going into Seaborn. Seaborn is also a library for visualization. It's basically not too different from Matplotlib. We are not going to do too much in it, but so see, so in the context of Seaborn, we import it as SNS. And then for one thing about Seaborn is that you just have to do SNS dot SNS, and then you specify the type of plot that you want to plot. And in this case, we want to plot, let's say, the histogram. So you just do SNS hist plot. Then you specify the data. I'm just going to run this. I'm saying that the service will be back. So here you can see that this is the same thing. Forget about this for now. So you can see that we are still having PLT in here, PLT in here, but we are doing matplotlib, right? I'm just going to give some spaces. So in matplot and in Seaborn, it's just the same accessing. You do sns.hist plus, then you do data. You access your DF, then this is neighborhood. This is one of the columns that we have in the housing thing. Then you specify the color and then you use it for it. But one thing about this SNS Seaborn is that you will not be able to customize it as with Matplotlib, because you see that the Matplotlib we could add the title, we could add the labels, we could add the text, we could add a lot of things. But when it comes to Seaborn, it doesn't have that. So for you to be able to use Seaborn, and then put in the titles and every other thing, you have to still use Matplotlib. So do we get that? Yes. So it's like Seaborn is not autonomous. It's not on its own. In the beginning, I said that Seaborn is built from Matplotlib. So for you to be able to access everything, you still have to go back to your PLT and then use it. So it's now left onto you to decide whether you want to use Matplotlib or you want to use Seaborn. But the funny thing, like Yeah, guys, my laptop has returned to it switched off again. I just joined in with my phone, and I'm trying to join back again. If you have any questions, you can ask while I try to join back. Out. Yep. I'm so sorry about the inconveniences that we are having today. It's not something that I'll be able to solve it. So we're just talking about the seaborn. So seaborn is just like matplotlib, as I said earlier. And then we have this where was I even explaining? I mean, yeah. So we have this, it's just like a build up on top of matplotlib. So although you are plotting with seaborn, for you to be able to effectively customize it, you might have to go back to matplotlib to use the matplotlib features to customize this. Another thing that I was saying before the laptop went off was that seaborn, most people prefer seaborn because most people say that seaborn gives better visuals um as compared to matplotlib, and it has some features and all of that. So it's just left onto you to make that decision on to yourself that okay, this is really what I want to do. Then and actually there are some features, maybe especially when it comes to customizing the plot in specific inside of the plot. There are certain things that might be available on seaborn, but it's not in matplotlib. So you just have to see which one works for you. Something like the KDE, which we call kernel density. So you can actually, I think with this thing, you can actually search it, look, add it. So we are just going to look at adding. I'm trying to just let us look at the various things that we have in matplotlib that makes it, people prefer it than, what do we call it, than matplotlib. So you see here, this is also the seaborn, what do you call, documentation. So you'll be able to get all that you need to know about seaborn library. What are the things that you'll be able to use it to do? So mostly the documentation is something that would guide you in knowing a lot of things about the library. So now you can see that we have stack in here. So you can use like, so in this thing, you can just specify, or I want it to be stacked up like this. Then you specify something we call the hue, which is not present in matplotlib. So this hue helps you to structure your data. So let's say you are trying to plot for, you see here they are using flip length. You are trying to plot for flip length, but you want it to be in the categories of species, right? I don't know if you guys get that hue thing. Thumbs up if you get that. Okay, I'm going to take it again. Let's just go back to our codes and then I will do it. And afterwards we'll try the KD. So hue, the hue parameter. So you see that in a data set. So I'm going to change this to something like let's say bedroom. Okay, in that case they use stack. So maybe if we want to really understand it, we would have, I think I have hue somewhere here. Okay, I'm going to explain hue using this thing. using line plots or scatter plots so that it will be easier, because in this case we are not using stack. In this context, they were using a stack plot. They were stacking the data, but in this sense we are not stacking anything. So I just want us to use this line plot to make it easier for us to understand hue, and we'll be able to use it to apply in our analysis. So here we have the price, then we have bedrooms, but we want to classify each point. So you see we have it in here. So we want to classify, okay, if we see this point, what does it represent? So in this way, when you see this point, you know that, oh, it's north. When you see orange, you know that it's north. When you see east, you know that is what do we call it? When you see east, you know that is, sorry, Esther, go ahead.
If I'm getting you, does the hue act as the legend when using the matplotlib?
Seaborn. When using Seaborn, you mean?
No, I mean in matplotlib is legend, but when you're using Seaborn, it's hue, right?
No. So you see when you are using yeah, you see when you are using the legend in matplotlib, just it's like a title that you give to the line. Do you get that?
Oh, so it's not describing what the
No.
line represents. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, so it just gives you like, oh, this line represents, let's say, the trend, right? But in this
Yes.
case, the neighborhood actually classifies each point. So you see here we have it as east, blue. We have it as blue is east, north is orange, west is this. So when you see this point, you know that, okay, it represents this. It's in this part. I don't know if it makes sense.
Yeah, I get it, but to me, it's looking as if it's the same as the legend, the one that was showing the blue was representing the X. I don't know when
Line.
you plotted the multiple variants.
Is it
Was the
that's
one
the
that had more than two representation on the graph?
no, it's not the same.
Okay, okay, all right,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah, because you see, let me try to see if I can help you to understand it. So you see that when you are defining a legend, right? You define it using a label. So you see here.
Okay,
So
okay,
you set it yourself. You see that, oh, label this as this. So now if you don't have this label, legend will not work.
okay, all right.
So it's a label that influences the legend, but in the hue, it automatically takes it from the data and then it classifies the points that you have.
Oh, okay. So you don't
Exactly.
have to even define it.
No.
Okay.
Bridget,
all
go
right.
ahead.
So please, if I'm getting you, we are saying that the hue is just like for categories. So
Exactly.
let's say when we take the neighborhood like this, we have the east category, the west. So it's like whatever data we are trying to visualize, just categorize them into the east, the west, and then the. Is that what we are doing? And then the legend is just a label to show that, oh, when you see this blue line, it means this.
Yes, that's it.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think this just it. So the other thing about this it's just the only difference between Seaborn and Matplotlib is just basically their features, what you can do with Seaborn and what you can do with Matplotlib. So there are certain things that you can do with Matplotlib, but you can't do in Seaborn. And there are certain things that you can do with Seaborn, but you can't do it in Matplotlib. And for Seaborn, the powerhouse is always with the plots. There's something that we call reg plot, which is directly accessed in so it's like regression plot, which is directly accessed in Seaborn, but it's not present in Matplotlib. If you want to plot the regression line in Matplotlib, you have to like manually like make the calculations, then you plot that line, right? The regression line that you've done. But with this reg plot, it automatically does everything, and then it shows you the line with the scattered things around it. So I'm going to just run it. So you see how it works here. It just puts in everything. It gives you the regression line and everything. But in Matplotlib, you will not be able to get this. So that makes Seaborn like a step ahead when it comes to really trying to understand your data and do a lot of things. Another thing too is with the pair plot. Pair plot helps you to plot a number of like graphs, charts, right? I'm going to run it, then we see. So you see that it helps you do a lot of things with your graph. So you see we have price here, square foot here, we have bedrooms here, and then we have it the same way at this other end, right? But when you want to, you see when we're trying to do this multiple plots, those subplots in Matplotlib, we had to define everything by ourselves. But in this case, Seaborn compares each of the data sets, and then it builds graphs that can help you just see the trend in each of the things without you having to manually set in the thing. So in this case, it just like automatically does everything for you. So people actually prefer to use Seaborn than to go through the manual process of defining the positions of where each of the things should be and all of that. So that makes Seaborn cool, literally. And we also have this correlation too as well. So this is like just a correlation matrix that you plot, and it's also a very long procedure if you want to do it in Matplotlib. But in Seaborn, you just have to calculate the correlation, then you just put it in, and then it puts in everything for you. So one thing about Seaborn is that it's able to do the complex charts in simple things for you than being compared to Matplotlib. I'm just going to go back to the what do we call it, the documentation. So you can see we have so many things in here. Like there are so many things that you can do with each of the plots. We have the pair plots here. You can specify to customize it to however that we have joint plots. There are so many things: visualizing statistical relationships, visualizing distributions of data, categorical data, statistical estimation, and error bars. So depending on what you want to do, you can just go to the documentation, then you look at the specific graph that you want to work on, and then you plot it in. Are we all on track? Do we prefer Seaborn or Matplotlib? Which one do you think you would use? SNS, yeah. I think it's easier and it's cooler to use. You don't have to stress so much. Oh, Seaborn is winning. I see. Nobody likes hard work. Everyone is soft life. That's nice. We all prefer soft life. I mean, Simon is so cool. And another thing I want to introduce us to something we call Plotly. It's also a seaborn. It's also a seaborn. Okay, I think it should be this one. It's also a library just like Matplotlib and Seaborn, but with how Plotly is, anybody that has used Power BI here, I wish I could, like, anybody, yes. When you, with Matplot, with this Plotly, you will be able to, you see, like, you'll be able to visual, like, it's interactive. It gives I'm still showing much. Hello, can everybody hear me? Yes, yeah, we are just I'm just even rounding up and then the laptop has gone off. So I'll just use my phone to talk about what I was saying about the plotly. It's just like the normal the Seaborn and then the Matplotlib visualization library. But just that with Plotly, you are able to it gives you an interactive graph. So just as with what do we call it, Power BI charts, you'll be able to take your you'll be able to click through and then you see the details of everything, the points. You can be able to interact with it to see which point is at every particular time. Like the question Joseph and Seth was asking about the points, you will be able to just like click on it and show them that, okay, look at this thing here, and then it shows you everything. But Matplotlib and then Seaborn gives you like a stagnant what do we call it, a stagnant chart, so you are not able to interact with it. But Plotly is something that you'll be able to interact with it. Personally, I've not used it before, but I've seen people that have used it before, and then when they are making explanations, it's very very interactive. You're able to just go through the data and then the chart, and then you understand what is in there. So I think it's something that we can check out and learn about. Okay, Bridget, go ahead.
Yeah. Since when you mentioned about Power BI, something came to mind. I was asking, like myself, we can
Mm.
do everything like we have done so far with the coding and everything
Yeah.
with Power BI, like simply just drag and drop and get all the interactions we want.
Yeah.
So why do we have to go through the coding route? Is that for like advanced analytics or something?
It's not advanced analytics, but I mean, if you get conversant with this, you realize that it's easier for you to just like write something simple and then you put it out there. But also, if you are going to be doing, if you want to advance in the field, maybe you want to do, imagine if you have so much like sometimes it's really difficult in Power BI, but imagine you want to advance in the field, you want to go for to build models and things. When you are starting to build, to train a model or do anything, you have to start from the basics, which is EDA, which involves the visualizations, the data manipulation for you to work on it. So it's very important that you understand, at least for Python. Yep. So it's good that you really get to learn it because it will come in handy. Because even for data analysts, there are companies that they they would say data analyst, but they are requesting that you should be able to use Python, right? Because sometimes you might be working with a large set of data set that you would need to query it in some ways to be able to do it. And remember, this is like just the basics of trying to get ourselves conversant with EDA. But the advanced things, especially when you want to go into like training your models, like trying to get into advanced stuff, there are things like normalization, standardization, like a lot of things that you would have to do with your data to be able to start training your model. All those things are part of data preparation, right? But this is like the basics of the basics when it comes to um analyzing your data. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, yes, please. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, so I don't know, but I highly recommend. I've tried myself to really learn this Plotly thing, but I've never been able to. I just know how it works, but I haven't personally used it. But I would recommend that if it's possible, like if you can learn it, it's something that would help you. You see, it's basically like goes the same way. It's not too far, although it's a bit difficult from Python, the normal C one, but it's something that you can deal with because you see that visuals are very nice as compared to what we did. Like really nice things. You can interact with the data and all. So that's it. It's called Plotly. I can just share the link with us all. Our time is gone over, but I don't know if we have questions. Yesterday I didn't share the notebook, but I will just share this. I'll just share all the notebooks for yesterday and today. But whilst I do that, if you have any questions for me, please feel free. Okay, I think the time I've gone so far, I'm not sure I'll be able to work on the code, but was anyone able to work on the Pokemon data yesterday? Did anyone work on it? Oh, Bridget, nice, nice. I'm really happy to hear that you worked on it. You can just add the visualization to it and then you are good to go. I thought we would be able to go through it, but I think that is it for my end. If there are no questions, I would hand it back to WiDS Accra. Mariam.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you very much, Venice. Guys, please let's show her some love. She has done so well from yesterday up to today. So thank you everyone for joining this webinar. I am very sure that you can now manipulate and visualize data to draw insights. And I thank you again to Venice for your time and then for making this happen. So the recorded session from yesterday has already been uploaded and shared with you, and we'll do same for today. So we urge you to look forward to similar events from WiDS Accra. Thank you everyone once again. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
I mean, I'm always free on LinkedIn, Instagram. You can reach out to me if you need anything or any
Yes,
further question.
yes, and
Yeah.
she's also on the page, so you can reach out to her.
Yeah. So just feel free to reach out. Okay.
Thank you.
Please, we've sent you invite.
Okay.
Kindly.
I will accept the connections.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.